Tonight, stuck in smoke.
All of that wildfire smoke is being brought down to our area.
The sudden shift that's given Waterloo region some of the world's worst air quality.
Both having the
highway fatalities. 2 Cambridge residents killed, several others injured in a collision on the 401 this morning. Also, keeping Eli's story in focus.
Our memories that we all shared together with him are still there.
Classmates launch a new initiative.
Eli could be anywhere. He could be anywhere, and it's been very hard.
For a Laurier student who's been missing for months.
This could potentially overtake us here. This is getting a little scary.
Forest fires in northwestern Ontario have forced a number of communities to evacuate and led to this incredible scene on a freight train.
This could potentially overtake us here. This is getting a little scary.
Yeah.
Holy sh**.
Okay, yeah, this is...
Okay, y'all need to hurry up here. Like, seriously, we're encased in flames now.
This video shows the terrifying situation. The train had to stop when it encountered a wall of flames near Collins. That's about 200 kilometers north of Thunder Bay. CN confirms the crew was safely evacuated from the area. Good evening. The sky turned orange today as smoke from those wildfires in northern Ontario drifted south. Here in Waterloo region, we have had some of the world's worst air quality. Environment Canada's Air Quality Health Index also hitting its highest alert level. Let's go to CTV's Colton Weens now live for more on this. Colton, we've certainly been experiencing it, and you've been speaking with some experts about the smoke and the dangers that it poses.
I have, Tony, and they tell me we all need to make sure we stay safe in these conditions with proper air filters and limiting our time outside and our efforts outside. But as we're being impacted by smoke from wildfires north of us, around the country, wildfires are becoming more common, and these harsh days will keep happening through the summer. Hazy orange skies in Kitchener, raging wildfires in northern Ontario, pushing smoke that's causing very high-risk air quality issues across the region of Waterloo.
It's the right time of year. We're in wildfire season, but all of that wildfire smoke is being brought down to our area. So even though we're thousands of kilometers away from some of these wildfires, we're being impacted by pretty bad air quality.
According to global air quality data tracker IQ Air, Waterloo had some of the worst air quality in the world Wednesday. Kitchener ranked right behind it. Public Health in Grand Erie, Huron, Perth, and the region of Waterloo all issuing air quality alerts today, as conditions aren't expected to improve until Friday.
So people age 65 and older, pregnant people, infants and young children, and people with an existing illness or chronic health condition, and people spending extended periods outdoors are more likely to be impacted by the effects of wildfire smoke and should take extra precautions.
Guelph closed the carousel at Riverside Park. Cambridge and Waterloo canceled outdoor sports, and a car show in Baden was canceled. Health officials say limiting your time outside is best, but if you do head out, keep effort low, and wearing an N95 mask can help.
The heat and the poor air quality can definitely exacerbate the effects of both heat and air quality. So it's important to both stay hydrated and cool, as well as trying to limit your exposure to the wildfire smoke.
Reliance Home Comfort says homeowners can check their air filter more frequently and use a high-quality one. Turn off any heat or energy recovery ventilators and consider using an extra air filter inside.
We're starting to have multi-hazards, so we're dealing with extreme heat, wildfires, and wildfire smoke at the same time. Closing your windows is imperative, but trying to have an air filter to help clean the air inside the home so that you can remain safe.
And the region of Waterloo has 56 clean air spaces available for residents throughout the day.
Drinking water can help your body cope with both the heat and the smoke. And if it's too warm, turn on air conditioning. And if you do not have air conditioning, visit a cooling and clean air space.
We're still in the middle of wildfire season, so we should expect to have other type of bad quality events occur later in the summer as we continue to have wildfires burn.
Now, Bonata says since 2023, wildfires across the country have been worse, and the wildfire seasons are just getting longer. She says Canada has made big changes in how forests are managed, but more work is needed, and without meaningful efforts to combat climate change, we can expect these harsh air qualities to become more frequent and more of the norm in the summer. Tony.
Something we're certainly feeling today. Okay, Colton, thank you. CTV's Colton Weens live with our top story tonight. And Colton was mentioning a few of the events that got changed or canceled today. There were a lot of them. A World Cup viewing party, which was supposed to be held outside at the Kitchener Market this afternoon, was canceled because of the poor air quality. The downtown Kitchener BIA also said indoor viewing was unavailable because the market building is continuing to clean up from a recent fire that happened inside. And this was just one of a long list of events that were canceled today because of air quality. For a longer list of what was impacted in many of our communities locally, you can visit ctvnewskitchener.ca. And let's get an up-to-the-minute look at weather now as we head over to Ashley Bacon here in studio. We were kind of signaling last night around this time that this was incoming. I don't think any of us expected to see it as bad as it was when we woke up this morning.
You're right, Tony. We thought it could occur. We could start to see some of the smoke moving southwards, but it is certainly picked up steam this morning and continuing throughout the afternoon. Environment Canada issuing an orange warning for air quality, which is pretty severe. We could see this lasting at least tomorrow and potentially into Friday morning. So we are looking at spending more time indoors, and while you're indoors, it is recommended that you keep your windows and doors closed if possible. And if you are outdoors, as Colton just said, limit your time outdoors because it is going to continue to be bad over the next 24 hours. We still do have a short heat warning in effect for Sarnia, Windsor, that Lambton, Kent, Essex region, where we could see humidex values tomorrow up to 42, but it has subsided for Waterloo region. So we are seeing a little bit of improvement in some areas, at least for the heat. Right now, we're sitting at 25 degrees, a very almost next to nil wind out there right now. So you're not seeing a lot of movement, and that's part of the issue. Feeling around 32, Tony. So the temperatures are still remaining warm. The good news is that's to start to come down as we get later into the week.
Okay.
Tony.
Ash, thank you. We'll talk to you shortly. 2 Cambridge residents were killed, several others taken to hospital after a crash on Highway 401 in Mississauga this morning. It involved 2 vehicles in the eastbound lanes near Dixie Road. CTV's Heather Centerin has the latest for us and joins us now. Heather, this happened really just right after the rush hour this morning.
Just after 9 a.m., Tony, Ontario Provincial Police say the 2 people who died, an 80-year-old man and 53-year-old woman, both from Cambridge. They're both passengers in a silver Honda CR-V that was struck from behind by a Mercedes SUV. The driver of the Honda and another passenger were taken to hospital. Meanwhile, the driver of the Mercedes was airlifted to hospital with Orange Air Ambulance landing and taking off from the highway. Police said all their injuries were non-life-threatening. The express lanes of the highway were closed for several hours, leading to a lot of traffic in the area for quite some time. The highway reopened around 3:40 this afternoon. Again, 2 Cambridge residents were killed in the crash. Both passengers, who police say were in the vehicle that was rear-ended on the 401 this morning. Police have not released any other information about the victims. There were 3 other people who were injured. Their injuries are described as non-life-threatening. The cause of the crash is under investigation. Police are asking anyone with dashcam footage to come forward. Tony.
Okay, Heather Centerin, thank you for that. A 15-year-old boy who killed an elderly woman in an unprovoked attack outside her home in Pickering last year was handed the maximum youth sentence of 10 years today for first-degree murder. The decision came after the boy apologized in court for repeatedly stabbing Eleanor Doney, an 83-year-old grandmother and retired kindergarten teacher, as she was cleaning up her yard last May. CTV's Janice Golding has more.
It was a grisly, unprovoked attack. 83-year-old Eleanor Doney stabbed 8 times in her garden by a teen who just turned 14 years old.
How did he get the knife that he used to commit the murder with? Did he get that at home still after he was suspended from school with a knife? Like, what precautions were taken?
A crime that shocked a community and devastated a family, including Doney's daughter, whose image we've concealed at her request.
Are our youth being protected, or is justice being served?
The teen will now never enter high school, sentenced with the maximum penalty a youth can face for first-degree murder, 10 years. That includes 6 years in custody, less 1 year for time served, as well as 4 years of conditional supervision.
Let's hope for the best for him. Let's hope this treatment plan works. Let's really hope it works.
In rendering her decision today, Justice Lisa Wanamaker highlighted that the teen continues to demonstrate preoccupation with themes of violence, specifically harm to others, and a fascination with serial killers, saying of particular concern was what he said following an altercation with a peer in custody, namely that he hasn't felt this alive since the incident before the court.
The question I ask is, can this young man be rehabilitated after 6 years in custody and 4 years of conditional supervision in the community? It was alarming to hear in court that he still has a fascination with serial killers.
Still, while Justice Wanamaker said there is no sentence which would make Miss Doney's loved ones feel whole again, she also cited a report which implied his risk to reoffend violently is low to moderate, though likely low if his mental health is properly attended to and monitored. Doney's family says they know they are hurting, but says so too are the teen's parents.
It must be very hard for them, and it is. It's been a terrible year for them. It's been a terrible year for our family. So hurt, causing more hurt, doesn't solve anything.
That being said, Doney's family stressed they would like to see an inquest in the hopes of preventing another senseless murder. Janice Golding, CTV News, Oshawa.
Disturbing details today about a cross-border child sexual abuse investigation that led to the rescue of 4 children in the Philippines. A Hamilton man is facing more than 130 charges related to this case. And police are concerned there may be more victims. CTV's Rahim Ladani has details.
42-year-old Stephen Tolles of Hamilton is facing more than 100 new charges related to child sexual abuse and exploitation.
As investigators continued to review evidence and follow new leads, the scope of the investigation grew. As a result, Mr. Tolles now faces 130 additional criminal charges related to the purchase and direction of live stream sexual abuse of children.
These new charges are in addition to the half-dozen laid against Tolles earlier this year, all connected to an investigation launched in April 2025. Agencies in Canada, the Philippines, the United States, and the Netherlands worked together to identify both the alleged facilitator overseas and Tolles, the suspected buyer in Canada.
What we're talking about is not a victimless crime. It is the repeated sexual abuse of children for profit. In many cases, it has been described as child rape.
That investigation ultimately led to 4 children being rescued in the Philippines and Tolles being arrested. Ontario Premier Doug Ford is weighing in on this investigation, writing on social media, "This is why Canada needs mandatory minimum sentences, so scumbags who abuse children rot behind bars." Police are also releasing several online usernames they allege Tolles used on social media platforms. Tupac 101, Steve 101, Steve-O, Jumpin' Jacks 666, Mighty Man 66.
We have one goal globally, and that's to identify and rescue children. We do have over 50 unnamed victims that we're looking to identify, which is why we're here today. We're hoping that this information will get out.
Police would not confirm if they believe there are other Canadians involved in this investigation. Meanwhile, the accused will appear in court later this month. Rahim Ladani, CTV News, Toronto.
Nearly 9 months after 25-year-old Wilfrid Laurier University student Eli Wood went missing, classmates are making sure he isn't forgotten. As police continue investigating, friends are asking the university to officially recognize a community garden created in Eli's honor. CTV's Hannah Schmidt is live with these details for us. Hannah, July 19th is actually going to mark 9 months since Eli's disappearance after a suspicious fire at his home in Kitchener.
Yeah, that's right, Tony. And police say the investigation remains active. For months, Eli's friends have searched for answers, but now they're also growing something they hope will last. A community garden, they say, reflects the compassion, kindness, and sense of belonging Eli inspired long before disappearing.
Rows of flowers and a place students say has become rooted in hope.
Eli is a very, very kind person, very caring. That's how Eli is. He has a big heart.
That kindness is what inspired classmates and friends to build a community garden on campus. They're now asking Wilfrid Laurier University to formally recognize it as the Elias Wood Community Garden.
We all came together, the people that were able to come, obviously, and you just could feel the love there.
Those close to Eli say the garden's purpose goes far beyond just growing flowers. It's a place to gather, reflect, and remind people that behind a missing persons case is someone deeply loved.
We graduated and Eli is still missing. I think of him every day. Eli could be anywhere. He could be anywhere, and it's been very hard.
Eli, a Master of Social Work student, disappeared in October after being last seen before a fire tore through his Major Street home in Kitchener. Waterloo Regional Police have previously said arson and foul play may be involved. Over the past several months, volunteers have searched nearby parks and wooded areas, while family and friends have continued urging anyone with information to come forward.
Both the ribbons and the stickers, we had the opportunity to wear them during our convocation to honor Eli. So that's very, very meaningful to us.
The flowers for the garden created in Eli's honor picked carefully, including forget-me-nots, symbolizing remembrance.
We all want collectively to have the garden as a symbol of importance of community to come together, because each person matters.
Laurier says it's reviewing the request for permanent recognition. In a statement, the university says, quote, "We welcome this community garden as a special way to honor Eli Wood and support one another during this extremely difficult time." Meanwhile, police say the investigation remains active, and there have been no new updates. Eli's family continues to offer a $5,000 reward for information leading to answers. As for those behind the Elias Wood Community Garden Project, their hope is simple.
All of his, our memories that we all shared together with him are still there. It's a place of meeting, it's a place of reflection.
Anyone with information about Eli's disappearance is encouraged to contact Waterloo Regional Police or Crime Stoppers. And while the investigation continues, Eli's friends and family want his impact on campus to continue growing right alongside the garden. Tony.
Okay, Hannah Schmidt with new reporting on the Eli Wood disappearance. Hannah, thank you for that tonight. Well, still ahead for us here on CTV News, extended free parking in Elora. CTV's Jeff Pickle has the latest on a hack that still has a new revenue-generating plan out of commission.
Although temperatures are expected to be a little cooler overnight tonight, air quality is expected to be poorer. I'll have details on when we can expect a break coming up with your full forecast after this. Stay with us.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We go to a dramatic scene unfolding.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. CTVKitchener.ca, your home for news. When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400. From your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Well, some good news and some bad news about the parking situation in Elora. Downtown parking remains free in the community after the paid parking system was taken offline when it was hacked in early June. On the other hand, the municipalities lost out on an estimated revenue of nearly $150,000. CTV's Jeff Pickle reports.
It was back in early June when the Elora paid parking system was taken down.
Yeah, so I touched it at first because I thought it was a touchscreen.
A system hack had people scanning the QR code sent to a pornographic website.
So I thought it was a legitimate joke, so I scanned the QR code myself.
But over a month later, and nothing has changed, with the system still offline.
The day of the hack, the garbage bags were put up, and
the program charges a parking fee for those visiting Elora, while residents can park free. Today, those visiting the community happy to see the system offline.
My sister was parking. We looked for signage, but we didn't end up paying, which worked out.
Like, we just noticed that the parking signs were covered where we wanted to park, so we just assumed that there was free parking.
Erica Montanero owns Blackbird Consignment on Metcalf Street. She says there has been very little information shared from the township.
I believe that it was kind of implied by the township that it would be up and running soon. It's been over a month now. The communication hasn't really improved.
The township did not provide an interview, but say in the first month of the new paid parking system, they brought in over $144,000.
As a councillor, we're always looking for more revenue, and I'm looking forward to this coming back up and running as soon as possible.
Centre Wellington councillor Lisa McDonald says council has also been kept in the dark about why the system remains offline.
Councillors cannot get involved in operations with the township, so I cannot just say, hey, I would like an update right away. That's not how municipal government works.
Many of the tourists we spoke with say they don't mind the free parking, but local businesses say the lost revenue from that paid parking hurts the community.
If your reason for doing paid parking is because you want tourism to pay for tourism, this is not tourism paying for tourism because it's the busiest tourism season and there is no revenue coming in.
Councillor McDonald says more answers are expected in a council report due the end of the month. Until then, the free parking continues. Jeff Pickle, CTV News, Elora.
If you've ever worn contact lenses, you know that finding the perfect fit isn't always easy. For some, it takes weeks or even months and multiple trips to the eye doctor. But researchers at the University of Waterloo say they have found a way to create custom contact lenses in just 20 minutes. Here's CTV's Alexandra Hollick with a look at the new technology bringing sight to sore eyes.
So you can see the process.
Layer by layer, this customized contact lens comes to life in a matter of minutes.
Just take it out.
Made with the help of a 3D printer and a team of researchers at the University of Waterloo.
Printing these rigid or sometimes called hard contact lenses, which requires a lot of personalization.
Hard lenses are different from the more common soft contacts. They're specialized for complex prescriptions and can last up to a year. But personalization often means more money and more time spent at the eye doctor.
Currently, the rigid contact lenses are around $500 to $1,500 a pair.
The team says it hopes to cut costs to 1/10 of that price and time it out to just 20 minutes.
Hopefully, with this printing, we can just deliver the perfectly fitted hard contact lenses in one shot.
And let's have you put your chin on there.
The process starts with a scan of a patient's corneas.
Even with astigmatism, the cornea will look different in certain spots, so it will have deeper portions where it's supposed to be flatter, or it'll have flatter portions where they're supposed to be more steep.
A file is then sent to a computer program that sets up the shape of the disc. A silicone formula is applied to the printer, and with the click of a mouse, the countdown to a customized contact lens begins.
After printing, we need a coating, and we just use UV light to cure it until it is hardened.
The materials also undergo a vigorous safety screening.
We need it to be good with our body, our body reacts with some materials that are not they're toxic to our body, so we don't want it to be like that.
The plan now is to refine the research and patent the product.
Right now, I'm not telling it's completely perfect, but yes, hope so soon.
For people who've struggled to find a comfortable fit, this tiny lens could mark the beginning of a much clearer future. Alexandra Hollick, CTV News, Waterloo.
We go outside now to a live look along the Grand River in Cambridge, and you can see that haze, that smoke is still hanging over Waterloo region, really obscuring the entire skyline and dragging on into the evening. Remember, air quality warnings right now. The Air Quality Health Index is at its worst level, according to Environment Canada, and this is some of the worst air quality across the country and around the world right now. Ashley's back with our updated forecast in just a few minutes, and also coming up. Guilty pleas in the scam involving highly sought-after tickets for the Taylor Swift shows in Toronto back in late 2024. And next, no more emergency hotel stays on the taxpayer dime. The spending scandal that has the Ford government changing course, coming up. Welcome back. We were just talking about all of this haze, this wildfire smoke, and how we first noticed it. You know, when I left the building here after midnight last night, everything was still clear, but we knew the smoke was getting closer and closer. Waking up this morning, I was saying the first thing that I noticed was the whole house was dim. I had to turn all the lights on inside.
Absolutely, Tony. I was up and out around 6:10 this morning on my morning walk, and the sun was a crimson, pink almost. It was just so bright, but you could stare at it because of the haze, and it was really eerie almost feeling.
Very much so. And then seeing those shots of the skyline, it's just like, actually I was saying, we have had wildfire smoke drift from the south before, but Rob Kuhn at Environment Canada was telling me today the worst that he remembers, Ash, as we look at this live shot, was back in June 2023.
Yes.
He says today, worse than that.
And actually, and I spoke with him as well, Tony, he mentioned tomorrow potentially could be even worse. So we're keeping an eye on that. And as you can see from Cambridge, things are looking pretty hazy out there. It's not very comfortable for many. I know I was only outside for a short time, and I have a bit of a scratchy throat and dry eyes feeling from it. And I'm lucky because I don't have any underlying health concerns. So those folks at home who do, make sure you're taking care of yourself. Stay inside as much as you can, and let's get into it. So we have a warning in effect, an orange warning, which does mean it's sort of a medium severe warning. Limit your time outdoors. As I said, keep windows and doors closed when you're inside if possible. It looks like Friday morning, that's when things can start to improve. Of course, it's never a guarantee, but that is what Environment Canada is indicating at this stage, that by Friday morning, hopefully conditions will start to get better. Now, we are still under a heat warning in some areas of southwestern Ontario, in Lambton, Kent, Essex, as I mentioned earlier. So you're still going to see warmer temperature values over the next couple of days. For us here in Waterloo Region, that has subsided, so we are cooling off slightly. We just got to get through the smoke now, and things will get back to normal. This is what we're currently looking at. Nice and hazy over the region. That's going to continue through the overnight into your Thursday, and as I mentioned, possibly into Friday. So we are keeping an eye on that. We aren't expecting any precipitation, at least until Friday afternoon. There's a chance we could see some showers through the afternoon and evening hours, and then some rain potentially on Saturday. Right now, we are looking at a beautiful day on the west coast. 24 with a mix of sun and cloud in Vancouver, 26 in Prince George, 18 up in Whitehorse. On the other side of the Rockies, a bit of cloud cover, and 25 in Edmonton. Thompson sitting at 28 and Winnipeg at 23. As we push further east, temperatures remaining warm, very much so, but a lot cooler than we saw yesterday. 28 in Sudbury, Ottawa, 36 still in Windsor. So that's where that heat advisory is still in play. And then as we push further east, things are not as bad on the East Coast. A bit of rain in St. John's, 14, Fredericton and Halifax, the warmest areas of the Maritimes at 26. Here, we're sitting at 24, so a lot cooler. It's definitely a much more comfortable day out there in regards to temperature, but certainly being outside, not very comfortable at all. Overnight, 18 is the expected low, so a little bit lower than we've had over the last few nights. But again, with all of this haze, it's probably best if you can to keep your windows closed just for that safety. Northwest wind of 20 kilometers an hour is expected. Now, tomorrow temperatures are going to rise back up to around 30 with a 20 kilometer an hour northwest wind. Even though it is hazy, it is important to remember that the UV index is still going to be very high. So it's important to be sun safe, even if it doesn't look like that sun is shining bright. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast for Waterloo Region. As I mentioned, a chance for showers for Friday. Temperatures coming back down to the normal range by Saturday. We should see some rain on Saturday, a high of 26. Before Sunday, is shaping up to be a perfect summer day, Tony. 25, a mix of sun and cloud. In Lambton, Kent, Essex, though, hotter conditions expected a little longer there. We should see a little bit of a break come Sunday as well there at 28. And lastly, in southern Georgian Bay, it will be a hot Thursday ahead at 28, sunny and 26 by Friday, and then a little bit cooler and comfortable by the weekend. Okay, let's look at today's Weather Watcher picture sent in from Jeff, who is visiting Saugeen Beach this week on vacation. He snapped this photo at 9 a.m. this morning of the hazy sky. Wow. And I just wanted to point out we've had a ton of amazing photos sent in today capturing this condition. Our digital team has created an online gallery. Head over to ctvnewskitchener.ca to check them all out.
You know, I don't want to be dramatic, but the word that comes to mind when you see what you see outside today is it looks apocalyptic.
It's not dramatic, Tony. It is very intimidating, and I will say I'm glad people are taking the warnings, because when I was out on the road this afternoon, roads were very clear. I noticed there was not a lot less pedestrians out, so be safe out there. We got at least another 24 hours of it.
Seeing is believing as far as the dangers go today, that's for sure. Okay, Ash, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, turning now to Queen's Park, where the Ford government's planning to eliminate a rule that allows Toronto area MPPs to expense hotel stays in the city under special circumstances. This after several ministers have faced backlash for billing taxpayers thousands in hotel stays, despite representing ridings in the Toronto area. CTV's Siobhan Morris has details.
With hotel bills from several government MPPs shooting past $100,000, the government House Leader has moved to eliminate the rule that made them possible. It was intended to help members who live close to Queen's Park in an emergency, like a snowstorm. The opposition leader insists a rule change doesn't undo the past.
These members just simply saw that policy. They understood what it was for. All of us do as MPPs. And they chose to abuse it.
It's an exciting time in Ontario.
Public records show the parliamentary assistant to the Minister of Transportation racked up the biggest bill since 2023. Hardeep Grewal, who represents Brampton East, billed taxpayers for over $27,000. Nina Tangri from Mississauga Streetsville had almost 19 grand. And Charmaine Williams of Brampton Centre has been repaid close to $16,000. We told you yesterday the Minister of Tourism, Culture and Gaming was paying back $16,000 in hotel bills, including $6 grand in just a month.
There's no excuse for this behavior. And again, I'm happy if they prove me wrong. Show us the receipts.
The Liberals say they're willing to work with the government on eliminating the rule, but previous bills have to be explained.
This motion is really an attempt to bury something that the taxpayers absolutely have a right to know about.
Stephanie Bowman suggests the Auditor General or Integrity Commissioner may need to weigh in.
I mean, I'm a chartered accountant by background. I would say that this kind of policy is rife for abuse because it is not specific enough about when it is allowed to be used.
Well, who could ever have thought this was a good idea?
Former Ontario PC leader and Toronto Mayor John Tory says all the rules about MPP expenses may need a second look.
It isn't just about partisan damage, it's about damage in the institution and damage in elected representatives. And I'm a great believer in the good the system can do and in the goodness of the people who are in it, and this doesn't help.
A spokesperson for the Premier says any expense that did not meet the intent of the rules will be reimbursed to the legislature in full. But she offered no explanation of who would make that call or how. At Queen's Park, Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
Holding the line on interest rates with some fine print. Just ahead, the Bank of Canada's decision today and its even bigger warning. The Bank of Canada is watching international factors like the Middle East and tariffs as it keeps to a steady-as-she-goes approach, with the trend-setting bank rate remaining at 2.25% for the 6th consecutive time. But the bank governor also revealed a sense of optimism. CTV's Judy Trin reports.
Economic growth looks to have resumed in Canada.
The Bank of Canada is holding its key policy rate at 2.25% after the economy showed signs of a rebound.
While U.S. trade policy continues to be a headwind, consumers have been resilient and businesses are adapting.
Despite uncertainty surrounding the Canada-US-Mexico Free Trade Agreement, the central bank's governor says businesses are finding new markets and exporting more.
Business sentiment in general, consumer confidence is slowly rising. Consumer spending is maintained.
The Canadian economy has remained flat since January 2025, but this quarter it's expected to grow, but only by 0.7%.
April GDP was largely, which grew quite strongly, was largely almost all accounted for by oil and gas. But there were some small growth registering amongst a wide range of sectors.
The biggest risk to growth globally is the shattering of the Iran-US ceasefire. The war on the waterway puts a chokehold on 20% of the world's supply of oil and gas that goes through the Strait of Hormuz. Inflation in Canada currently sits at 3%.
Inflation in Canada is poised to ease, provided global oil prices decline from elevated levels. And third, uncertainty remains high.
Tiff Macklem is also crediting Canadian consumers for propping up the economy. While the population is shrinking, consumer spending has remained steady. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
All right, Leanne Evans is in studio with us tonight for a look at our top stories. The story everyone's talking about, that smoke from the northern wildfires drifting south here into our area, Leanne.
Yeah, and here in Waterloo region, Tony, we've had some of the world's worst air quality. Air quality alerts have been issued by many public health agencies as conditions are not expected to improve until Friday. Experts say limiting your time outside is best, but if you do head out, keep effort low, and wearing an N95 mask can help. 2 Cambridge residents were killed after a crash on the 401 near Mississauga this morning. It involved 2 vehicles in the eastbound lanes near Dixie Road. An 80-year-old man and 53-year-old woman were both passengers in a silver Honda CR-V that was struck from behind. 3 other people have non-life-threatening injuries. The cause of the crash is under investigation.
And online from our digital team tonight, we've got details in a stolen vehicle investigation.
2 teenage girls from Brantford and Kitchener have been arrested in connection to it after police approached the stolen vehicle in Waterloo when the driver reversed into their cruiser. For more information on what happened and the charges laid, you can go to our website, scan the QR code, download the CTV News app, or as always, ctvnewskitchener.ca. Tony.
Okay, Leanne, appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Provincial government leaders were in Sarnia today, emphasizing their commitment to building an oil pipeline, delivering crude to local refineries. CTV's Jerry Dewan reports.
Stephen Lecce toured Sarnia's Kilgore Limited, a metal fabricating and construction company. The Minister of Energy and Mines used the visit to stress his government's commitment to the Northern Shield Energy Corridor, a 3,300-kilometer pipeline project.
We will work together to move this project forward, to complete the study at the end of this calendar year, and to get on with nation building through a meaningful dialogue of partnership, but ultimately moving beyond the talk to getting things done for Canada.
Lecce says a dialogue has begun with regions that will be impacted. That includes the Omnijong First Nation in Sarnia. Manitoba Premier Webb Canoe has withheld full endorsement of the project, looking for assurances that the pipeline will travel to the Port of Churchill.
In good faith, we'll work with Premier Canoe, the people of Manitoba. We want to create win-win-wins. Every province, every First Nation, every community can win.
Kilgore leadership say their company has worked on many of the refinery and petrochemical projects in Sarnia and have the skill set to help the Chemical Valley scale up.
When people talk about Sarnia being the heart of Canada's refining and petrochemical industry, what they're really talking about is the skill of the workforce that keeps it running.
Sarnia Mayor Mike Bradley says the Chemical Valley has been maligned in the past, but says it continues to be a key economic driver for both Ontario's and the nation's economy.
We're having an adult discussion about this industry and treating it with the respect it deserves. It produces wealth for every other part of this country, and that's what this is about today.
Lecce says economic volatility created by U.S. tariff policies and by the war with Iran has only galvanized opinion that Canada needs greater energy independence.
A problem that has been well defined in the hearts and minds of Canadians, that we cannot, in good conscience, rely on them for the energy sovereignty, for the reliability that our country and Canadians need now more than ever.
Lecce is also calling for the creation of a strategic petroleum reserve, noting that Canada is the only G7 nation without a reserve. In Sarnia, Jerry DeWan, CTV News.
A guilty plea in one of the Toronto Taylor Swift ticket scams. Just ahead, new developments with a Hamilton couple and people who were taken advantage of during one of the biggest shows in town. Taylor Swift's Eras shows in Toronto were the hottest tickets in town back in late 2024, but they also had scammers trying to take advantage of people wanting to go. A Hamilton couple who sold more than $265,000 in fake tickets have now pleaded guilty in court. CTV's Sean Leathong reports.
Denise Tizer and her common-law partner David Blake left court in Milton having each pleaded guilty to a single count of defraud the public. The result of selling fake tickets to Taylor Swift's Eras tour, taking in over $265,000.
No comment, don't comment.
To have watched this unfold for the last couple of years and to hear her plead guilty, probably in my opinion now for the lesser sentence, really kind of is a gut punch.
Tammy Allen was one of the victims, having purchased tickets from Tizer in August 2023. Allen was confident because Tizer is someone she knew, someone she sees in the community as recently as last week.
She has had no effort to repay anyone.
Back in November 2024, as Taylor Swift played 6 sold-out shows at the Rogers Centre, we spoke to several victims who had purchased tickets from Tizer.
There were hundreds of us.
Some had purchased tickets for other artists previously, and Tizer had delivered.
Like, we actually went. So it was reassuring because we had the tickets.
Many had given the tickets to their kids as Christmas gifts, confident that it was for real. But as the concerts drew closer, no tickets arrived, with victims having to face the harsh reality.
I wanted to go there so badly. And it just turns out we didn't get to go.
According to the agreed statement of facts in this case, between August 8, 2023 and November 12, 2024, 107 Taylor Swift ticket purchasers from across southern Ontario purchased $265,330 worth of tickets from Denise Tizer. We first contacted Tizer in November 2024. At the time, she had said that the money was stolen from her by a third party. When we knocked on her door...
Hi, Denise.
Court documents show there was no third party involved.
Because I don't want this guy.
Also, documents show that Blake and Tizer were aware that they were defrauding their victims, saying, between July 1st, 2023 and November 28th, 2024, Ms. Tizer and Mr. Blake used $139,144 of these funds to place multiple online gambling bets on various platforms. Also, between July 1st, 2023 and November 28th, 2024, Ms. Tizer and Mr. Blake made approximately 350 cash withdrawals from ATMs totaling in excess of $297,000. Tizer went by the name Denise Blackhawk online. And while she didn't speak outside court today, a lengthy Facebook post from the account Blackhawk Denise said in part, "Today, I simply want to say that I'm sorry. Almost 2 years ago, I was facing a serious gambling addiction that completely took over my life. Addiction consumed my thinking. At the time, all I cared about was feeding that addiction. Looking back, I can see how much pain it caused, and I have to live with that every day."
Well, I can empathize with the addiction. I can't empathize with the life decisions made to support said addiction.
Tammy Allen says that her kids play lacrosse in the same organization as those of Denise Tizer, and says seeing the person who took from so many young kids doesn't sit right.
Whereas people are tiptoeing around her because they've been impacted by this situation and they don't know how to interact in spaces where they should feel safe and comfortable. There has been, as far as I can see, zero backlash.
A sentencing date for Denise Tizer and David Blake has not been set.
All right, we'll have more news coming up in just a moment. First, let's check in with Ash once again over at the weather wall.
Well, although tomorrow is supposed to be sunny, we might not actually get to see the sun after all of that haze enters our atmosphere. We'll have more details on that first thing after this. Come up. Coming up on CTV tonight, start your night off with E-Talk, followed by The Big Bang Theory, MasterChef at 8, The Rainmaker at 9, and cap your night off with The Rebuild inside the Montreal Canadiens at 10.
KW's Bounce 99.5 has the music you just can't quit. Listen all summer for your chance to win. Turn the lights off, carry me home. With Bounce to your backyard.
Okay, we're looking ahead to our next local news later tonight. Leanne Evans is here with a preview of one of the stories we'll be working on. Leanne?
Tony, today would have marked Tori Stafford's 26th birthday. Back in 2009, the 8-year-old was abducted, raped, and murdered. Her killers are both serving life sentences. Tonight, people were invited to gather at Museum Square in Woodstock to mark art with chalk, specifically drawing butterflies in honor of her birthday and her memory. Krista Simpson is there, and we'll have more on that at 11:30. Tony.
Okay, Leanne, thank you so much for that. And Ashley, as far as our wake-up weather goes, boy, a really sort of fluid situation we're watching right now as far as how much worse this wildfire smoke could get through the day tomorrow.
Absolutely. At this stage, it looks like we'll see similar conditions to what we've had today. So unfortunately, not great. Orange warning in effect as we speak for the smoke from the wildfires in northwestern Ontario. Now, of course, this is causing poor air quality. So it is best, if you can, to limit your time outdoors. And once inside, if you can, keep your windows and doors shut as much as possible. Hopefully, conditions start to improve by Friday morning. As we take a quick look at what we're expecting first thing, it's going to be warm and hazy. As I mentioned before the break, it's supposed to be a sunny day tomorrow, but as we saw today, you know, that sun really wasn't penetrating through that haze very much, and the temperature felt a little cooler because of it.
It did, and probably not surprisingly too, something that we've been noticing throughout the day today, especially in the afternoon, is we're hearing from more and more organizations that have been canceling things, not only here, but even down toward the London area, the City of London making some decisions. So we're going to keep a close eye on this online for you, especially as it relates to events tomorrow here.
Yes, because at this stage, everything is a go, but there is a baseball game happening with the Kitchener Rangers at Jack Couch Park with first pitch around 7:05. I'm actually supposed to be there live from the game tomorrow, so fingers crossed.
Yes.
Everything is a go, but keep an eye out just in case that game has to be delayed to another date.
A lot of TBDs right now, and we will keep you posted as we get new updates on everything. But until then, we'll see you tonight for your next local news at 11:30. Take care and have a good night.